call to order the City of Kingman meeting for the Golf Commission. Can we start with a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Chairman Dale,
Present.
Vice Chairman Moore,
Here.
Commissioner Johnson,
Here.
Commissioner Lawson,
Here.
Commissioner O'Connor,
Here.
Commissioner Ottenshot,
Here.
and Commissioner Page is absent. We have a quorum, sir.
Thank you. We're going to do the Pledge of Allegiance led by Commissioner Paul. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Great job, man. Great job. White star. All right, in reviewing, we want to do the approval of minutes. In reviewing the minutes, I found just a couple items that kind of caught my eye. I would like to bring them up prior to putting a vote out for that. Under action items 3A, Chair Dale asked about rangers, part-time labor, and staffing on the course. Mr. Mearsman said that this was off topic for the golf course rules and regulations. I would like that to be struck. Further into the discussion, we got into the fact that we can put all the rules in place we want. If there's no one there to enforce them, they're merely wasted paper. So down further in the body of the discussion, and to include the first paragraph of the rules as they were presented to us, let me read that to you. And this is why the ranger conversation mattered. Rules and regulations, item 1, head golf professional, the golf course superintendent, food and beverage manager, and their staff and agents of the city and Kingman and staff should enforce all rules and regulations pertaining to the golf course. That goes back and supersedes what we were discussing about with rangers. Please strike that comment. Then just something that struck me as off, it doesn't matter, it's semantics, but I didn't like the way that it read. Commissioner Ottenshot left the meeting at 2:29. We can strike it, or we can just say Commissioner Ottenshot was excused at 2:29. We still didn't break quorum.
Oh.
That was the only two things I have. Anybody else got anything else on the minutes? You good with that, Sherry? Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I make a motion to approve.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye as amended, yes?
Yes.
All right, next order of business is open call to the public, correct? Do we have any? I've received no calls to the public forums. Do you have any, Sherry?
No, sir, we received none today.
Okay. In this category, can I follow up with what Miss Tappan, what happened to Miss Tappan with her addressing the last meeting with the issue on hole 7? Do we have any conclusion to that?
Yes, we reached out to her and we removed the bush that she was
So her
worried
issue
about.
has been rectified.
Yes.
Well done. She seemed very legit in her complaint and was sincere in what she was trying to do, so that's very good. Leaving then call to the public directly into the golf course superintendent report.
Yeah, he's,
3A is,
What I missed?
should be action 3A.
No. Oh, we're starting there. Okay. Let me get down there. I'm coming. Maybe. All right, review of golf course rules and regulations. Action item. where do we leave off?
Everything that's highlighted in yellow, I believe, is the areas that had been some discussion. And I think we struck some of the things that need to be taken out, and it's in your, in the agenda packet that you're looking at there.
Item 2, can I go with that?
Yeah, give us a page number.
Page 3, rules and regulations, item 2.
Okay. Golf course employees.
The alcohol and beverage may not be brought onto the property. A new proclamation has been made that,
HB 2411.
yes, you want to say?
HB 2411 is currently through the reading stage of the Senate. It's going to be voted on at the first of the session, I believe January 2026. Some of the verbiage in there, according to the Senate outlook that was reading the bill, some of the language went from will to may. I don't know how it affected us. Mike, have you done any due diligence on that and seen how that's going to affect us?
I've talked to our city attorney about it, and he will let us know how it affects us when it's in place.
Okay.
Because it's all speculation right now, really.
Everyone's familiar with what we're talking about on that bill with bringing your own liquor onto the golf course, correct? Again, you know, that she brings up a good point though, in that verbiage then need to be adjusted as it goes, and now we're back into an enforcement. And that puts a lot of onus back on Mike, his employees, the underage drinking thing, the loss of revenue, all of those things that HB 2411 brings with it. So ear to the pavement, I guess, and then we see the Outlook page that I read, which was pure opinion based on the session and what they had seen so far, said it would pass overwhelmingly, that it seemed pretty benign in verbiage. Then they were basically hands off and letting the cities, municipalities, private golf courses, and those entities regulate it as they see fit. But, you know, that puts a lot back on you, Mike, staff. Anything else?
Mr. Chair, I had a question, and I wasn't here, but I know we talked about it at the last meeting. But on page 15, item 2, we've got highlighted to allow the 20 minutes. The discussion on that, I know it's highlighted, I wasn't here for that. What's the discussion that's centered around that part? Because when I read it, quite frankly, it would seem to me that it would be more appropriate for us just to simply say golfers should be prepared to play at their designated tee time and allow, if it's 2 minutes, 20 minutes, an hour, we don't care. I mean, and I mean this in the nicest way when I say we don't care. As a golfer, I believe as a staff, all we care about is people show up, and at 1:15, if your tee time's 1:15, you're ready to go at 1:15. So I was just thinking, you know, I read that, I was like, well, that's a little bit, maybe a little clunky. Maybe we just say, you know, please be prepared to play at your scheduled tee time and leave whatever prep somebody needs to them. Thoughts?
I understand what you're saying, but if someone has a 1:15 tee time, that's the time the peg is in the ground, not the time they show up to the golf course to check in. So if we give it up to them, they can say, I'm ready to go, checking in at 1:14, I'm ready to go at 1:15, when everyone knows they're not. You can't go from the pro shop to the first tee, do all your stuff and be ready to go in a minute. The 20 minutes is based on years and years and years of people, of myself acknowledging and seeing how long it takes people to get ready to go play, to get to the first tee. And it takes time.
Okay.
So if you have a 10 a.m. tee time, you show up at 9:40, then by the time you get out of the pro shop and get everything stuff, that's 5 minutes. If the pro shop is just dead quiet, that's a couple minutes. Plus, if they go to the bar and grill to get something, plus if they want to get ice, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you know, I
So if I
support
give them a
that.
time, if we give them a time, at least please check in a minimum of 20 minutes before your tea time, then they understand that it's not just, because if they're late, now you've disrespected the next person's tea time.
Yeah, I concur with that. I would, even what you just said, I would put in writing over this, which is please check in X minutes prior to your tea time, right? I think this is just too gray of an area for people to try to negotiate with the starter and or the staff at the pro shop is all I'm getting at. We want everybody to show up on time and play on time, and I think that, that's what I was trying to maybe be more specific with that direction or expectation for all of our golfers.
I fully understand that. You also know that everyone's definition of on time is different.
Agreed.
So that's where the 20 minutes came in, just because that's kind of what I've noticed over the past X amount of years, is that 20 minutes gives them something to shoot for.
Okay.
I mean, I had a phone call yesterday at 10:27 saying the guy's gonna be late for his 10:30 tee time.
Yeah.
I mean, so that's where the time came in.
All right. I don't have anything.
That begets the question then, what's the enforcement on that? Their tee time, the group behind then takes their time and they're moved one back? How does that work?
That would be, yeah, you lose your spot, and if the group behind you is ready to go, then you're ready to go. Where I was taught back in the day at Palo Alto Muni, you didn't play. You just didn't play. You missed your tee time, you don't play. Have a nice day. And so that was also a municipality, and that was, now, mind you, they did over 100,000 rounds in a year, and it was incredibly busy. So we were allowed to do that because we always had people on the wait list to take that time. And I understand we have to be way more flexible here, and I fully understand that. But we also know the fact that it's been pretty lax in this over the past couple of years. So the responsibility is ours to help get people to understand that a 10 a.m. tee time means you're on the tee at 10 a.m., you're not checking in the pro shop at 10 a.m. And we're still teaching people that.
Pardon me, then the example that you used, a twosome is there, they're waiting on the third, you would send the twosome. Right? You, two guys come in, paid, got their cart loaded, they're ready to go. Third guy is coming in late. You're saying that to the two guys that are there as the
No, I'm
pro.
telling the two guys, do you like to go at your time, or do you want to wait? Because if you're going to wait, you could be waiting a while. And if you want to wait, then you're at our discretion. If you want to go, then when your guy checks in, we'll send him out to catch you. Because you can't disrespect the tee time behind them, or the
Correct.
tee time behind that.
And it's a domino effect.
And it's
2
100%
minutes late now is 20 minutes late at 1
Correct.
o'clock,
So
right?
you give the twosome a choice. Do you want to go now at your time? And if you wait, now you wait, and you're going to go at our discretion when we have a tee time available.
If someone is trying to check in 5 minutes before their tee time, you know it's not mechanically feasible to be on the tee box on their tee time, you're going to stop that at the desk. You're going to say, no, we're going around you. How does that work?
It just, like, I hear people, I can get there. Okay, you can get there, but if you don't, then you go forward. I mean, you know, you have to give people the opportunity to say, I can do that. And I have no problem with that. But again, this is where I want to, down the road, have starters on the first tee, like we do on Sunday morning. Then that rectifies itself quickly with the starter taking care of the tee sheet on the first tee while we check them in. And that's how, every place I've been, that's how it gets rectified, by someone who starts people off the first tee. And if they're going to be late, then we send them a message through walkie-talkies. Hey, the 10:15 group is late. Send the 10:22 group, and we'll get the 10:15 at 10:22.
Because they're on the tee and ready to go.
Correct.
Yes. Good.
Correct.
Good. So it sounds to me like you've worked this out and worked with it in your past life, so that's good.
That's correct.
Appreciate that. All right, we've got highlighted on this item D, the 2 occupants per cart discussion. I had that as another item that I wanted to discuss anyway. I'm seeing a lot of one-rider carts to include people in my own group, guilty. That's revenue, so we're still doing that, and I'm wondering why we're still doing that, especially with city-owned carts. Let's keep if they're going out, let's keep them full, and if somebody comes in and says, I want my own cart, then there needs to be a financial penalty for that? I don't know.
Again, every place I've been, if you want your own cart, you pay for, everything's a seat charge. Then you pay for the other seat charge, and which we have that on the thing, right? But again, this goes back to why I want a starter, because that's a starter, because when we hand keys to the Elks, they don't know who's teeing it off yet, and we hand keys to the men's club, they're not sure who they're playing with yet. So we ask them to please pair up, right? Right now, we don't have a starter to ensure that, and we have to answer phone calls, check other people in and do that. So it's hard to rectify that off the first tee from the pro shop. So
And
I agree with you with that, but we have to trust people to do that, and it isn't always done.
And I have heard you in groupings, not direct, but say, you're with so-and-so, you're with so-and-so, you're with so-and-so, and it go to the first tee box and it be completely blown away from what you said. So I understand where you're coming from on that, because you're thinking you're sending out a foursome, and then now you've sent out a threesome and a fivesome. And that was never your intent.
That's
So,
correct.
I've seen where.
And we've called twosomes to the tee to play together, and they play as two twosomes.
Yeah.
Again, that's where the starter comes into play, that we tell them, you're not playing as two twosomes, you're playing as one foursome. Because two twosomes means the group behind you is now one shot and a half further back than where they should be, because you should be playing as a foursome, not two twosomes. And that's also, from what I understand, has been a standard practice at this facility that we're trying to desperately eliminate.
Yes.
Well, it feeds right into where we're going with these other discussions on Rangers and starters, and we've got to find the money for that, but a lot of that can be alleviated, with starters. I agree, you don't need them 5 days a week or 7 days a week. And then Rangers for the enforcement of all of the rules that we're trying to implement, from obnoxious behavior to slow play and everything else. So a lot of this, we're coming back to fighting the budget, right? But I'm in full agreement with what you're saying, because I've witnessed what you're trying to do, and 60 feet away from your office, it's being blown out the door. And I say, well, I think he wanted everyone in foursomes, and now we got two guys solo in carts, right? Fivesome and a threesome. But I'm not going to run in there. I'm not Nunzio Narc. I'm not running in there and, Mike, they didn't do what you said. But it's something you need to observe, right? And
That's
say,
correct.
Hey,
Yeah.
Elks, let's get it together.
Yes.
I have two things that are related. On page 15, item 4, just a correctional, a provisional ball will save at least 5 minutes. We've changed that to 3 minute looking for a ball. Can we change that wording to 3 minutes?
Yeah, I thought we all agreed on that, right?
It's just a wording on this
Yeah.
rules. And also 14, item 14, the rule of golf gives, it's written out in 5 and then in parentheses 3 minutes, so we can change that 5 to 3, just to make a correct statement.
Which is now the USGA standard, correct?
Yeah.
Do you see what we're talking about there? Everybody good with that?
But you also understand where it says number 4, provisional ball will save at least 5 minutes. That includes the time to get from the tee to the tee ball, look for 3 minutes, the time to get back to the tee box, the time to hit, and the time to get catch back up. So it's not going to save 3 minutes, it's going to save more than 3 minutes. That's why the
As per
5
the-
minutes is
as per
there.
the rules.
It's the way it's worded. It's-
Yeah. As per the rules, the clock starts when the search begins.
Right, that's why it says the provisional ball will save at least 5 minutes also, and that's because it's not just the search. It's the drive to and from the ball, it's the drive to and from the tee, and it's re-teeing and then getting back to the tee box and getting it back to the group. That's why it says more than 5. That's why it says we'll save at least 5 minutes. Because it's not just the search,
Yeah,
it's the search and everything
I don't
else.
think it's necessary to put a time on that then.
Well, that's why he's just saying at least 5 minutes. He's encouraging people to hit balls, hit a provisional if you don't know exactly where your original ball is.
Agreed. but it is a rule book, and they need to be specific because we're trying to omit gray. So I agree with you 100%.
Yeah.
We have a lot of weekend folks that aren't up on the rules, and I'm agreeing with what you're saying because it's implied because we golf. But the non-golfer guy doesn't know about a provisional and doesn't know that. So as far as the rules go, then he's got a document that he can stand on and say, hey, this is the rule. Let's make it a teachable moment. We're going forward. Next time you hit another OB or lost ball, please hit a provisional.
That's the thing, though, that people that don't golf aren't going to know what a provisional is anyway.
Yeah,
So
okay.
they're not going
That's
to
what
read
I'm
it
saying.
for
That's
one,
that's
and they're
gonna
not
get
going to
put-
understand the verbiage on it anyway, so.
That's gonna put Mike in the teachable moment phrase, yeah.
Good.
So are you looking at getting this approved as amended today?
I mean, if everybody's amenable to that, I think it'd be good.
Are there any things that are, Mr. Moore, do you want another minute to go
No,
over them?
I've reviewed it. I'm good with, if you're looking for a motion, I'll make a motion to approve them as presented.
Any other comment on them?
I think we're always going to be open to changes though, right? Just like that non-alcohol, or the alcoholic beverage on the course thing, we might need to change some of that too, right? So, all right, good.
So approved with the amendments we made today, yes?
For now, yeah.
Yes. You want to make a motion?
I did.
I second it. Let's vote. All in favor of approving the course rules and regulations, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion passes. We had a art donation on the agenda. I'm trying to get better at this as we go, so please be patient. Keep me straight, Pat. Am I on the right item?
Yeah, just touch the hyperlink, it'll blue.
So here's the, here's the art donation. It'd be look like a golfer with knicker outfit on, and
Oh, yeah, I saw that. Very nice.
that's what it looks like, and that's the value of it. And these are the locations we talked about putting it out by the, because our sign doesn't really say golf course, it doesn't really look too much golf related, so we thought about out there. We thought about right there in front of the pro shop. And that's pretty much it in a nutshell, and I can go back till you can see what it looks like if you'd like. If you like it, we'll put the Surbat Cliffs logo on the,
Are you worried about vandalism or damage?
Yes, I was thinking about.
I worry about that with everything we do.
I'll say, I mean, Mr. Chair, I agree. I think it's a very generous donation. The art, I think it absolutely fits the course. I was there yesterday looking at a couple of the places mentioned. You know, I'll say individually, personally, I would have reservations about it being out on the intersection. It's very dark out there. There's no camera and there's no light out there. And quite frankly, while it pains me a little bit to say, we see enough vandalism in our parks and in the rest of our community. If you put that out there, I believe that it's just simply going to be vandalized in a matter of time. And so my preference would be to put it somewhere near the pro shop where there's more lighting and potentially more cameras and would catch some more of that type of behavior. But that's simply my individual opinion, so.
Can we see that photo again of it up next to the clubhouse, Mike? Please.
Or even potentially by the putting
Right
green.
there, we were thinking, you
Yeah.
could go by the putting green too, by the flagpole maybe, or somewhere like that, where you walk up to the, I mean, so if you guys want to make a recommendation where we put it, we'll take that to council and see if they like it as well. So, I mean, right there is the one that we have it right by the pro shop. I think that would be doable as well, and I don't think it's going to get vandalized there. I mean, it's a heavy concrete structure, so I mean, and if it gets vandalized, it could be repaired, you know, I mean,
And I would,
Can it be anchored anyway?
it's going to be anchored in concrete, yeah. It's going to have a footing under it, and they'll have a plaque by it, donated by,
Very nice.
yeah.
Mr. Matheson, your thoughts?
I'm fine with wherever the city council wants it to go. I mean, I talked to Pat about it. We're both in agreement about out in the corner would be, at the intersection would be the best place, but I also understand the possibility of vagrancy or the possibility of vandalism. So I fully understand that. So I'm good with wherever is decided to go.
What are you looking from us? An affirmative location that you know to go forward with?
That'd be best, I think, but,
Commissioner Ottershot, what do you think?
I kind of like it there by the flagpole. I think it's visible out in the front, but I think people congregate out by the carts and stuff like that. I think it's going to be just observed more, and get more attention. I see people walking in and not realizing that it was donated with the plate, with the plaque and all that stuff. And people pay more attention to it, I think, by the flagpole versus out in the front. I do like it out by the street, but I'm like, the vandalism thing, for sure. So my recommendation would be by the flagpole.
Commissioner Lawson?
I'm fine either out front by the, by the parking lot right here, or by the flagpole, or by the putting green or something. Because I think it might be a little harder to put it by the flagpole, right? Because it's already
There's not
concreted
much-
around
There's
it,
not much room there.
right?
we could put it off to the side of like where the path is that goes up to the putting green, we could put it on the right-hand side of that. Where the
Yeah.
flagpole's on the left-hand side, we could put this on the right-hand side there.
Yeah, I agree with.
And, like I mentioned to council about another, if we put it somewhere and we don't really like it, we could obviously move it too. So, I mean, it's not like we're locked into,
Or you find it a maintenance
maintenance
issue
issue,
or something else, I agree. I'm glad that you had that foresight, very good. You're pretty easy with where it goes?
Yeah,
Commissioner Moore?
to be completely transparent, I wouldn't have any preference. I think that from a logistical spot where it's at, in that picture reference, would be the easiest for them to maintain and make sure the sprinklers aren't on it and
Right.
carts aren't running around it, and et cetera, et cetera. But, my only real reservation was just protecting it. And so I think any of the other locations that the city council or staffer would select, I'll support.
I like the front initially, but I'm going with Todd's speculation that, that it could be damaged, just being out in front. And I think it's a better fix in the back.
Commissioner Johnson?
Yeah, I like it on the backside of the clubhouse, whether it's by the putting green or the flagpole. I think those, in my opinion, would be the best visibility sections, because just like Commissioner Odenshot said, like, I think right there, it's just going to be there. No one's really going to know what it is and why it's here. On the other side of the clubhouse, I think it's the most appeal for people to look at and understand what it is and why it's there.
And that was my first thought, is this has been a heartfelt donation. We're now the stewards of that. And so protection. I make a motion then that it is put on the back of the clubhouse, near the putting green, location to be determined based on maintenance, left side, right side, flagpole preferred. Can I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
And who was that from, Jesse?
Jesse Lamilli.
And that's the business out on Andy Devine?
Yeah.
Okay, very nice, very nice. Item C, thank you for that, Mike. Item C, 2026 rate proposal. Ugh. I'd like to just start with, I've got some very positive feedback. We went from a rate increase and then we got new carts. And so a lot of the heat that was initially being brought, that seemed to alleviate some of it. And so we were able to kind of offset. I've also got two friends that no longer renewed their passes. One friend that didn't renew them at all. And I got one friend that renewed from 7 to 5. Social Security, fixed income is real. I don't know. I don't know. Take it away. Discuss.
We discussed at the last meeting that outsiders be paying more for greens fees. Is that something that's, could we work out better than raising our initial fees?
That was tabled by Commissioner Lawson, and I thought it was an excellent idea, based on his examples he gave, which was anywhere I go, I expect to pay more, and as a resident, I expect to pay less, or commensurate to the local cost of living and or demographic income. So you're talking 10%, right?
Yes.
That's a hit, man. That's legit. Then you start credit card fees. It's a hit. Is there a possibility of smaller hits incrementally over 3-4 years? Maybe 2.5 a year?
I mean, you need to look at the last rate increase that we had was 2019. Every other course in the country has at least doubled in those
Right.
6 years.
That's
And
fair.
we just raised it $3 for locals and $5 or $6 for non-locals recently, finally. So I'll say my spiel, since I think I was hardest on getting some of this stuff done last time. One thing I want to know is, Mike, last meeting you brought up how many actual green fee there are in like Golf Now or whatever in the system. What was that number, like 30 something? Do you have that? Like what you remembered, or? I just remember it's a lot. I mean, even you look through here and there's just on and on about, front nine, back nine,
Well-
junior.
Now I know what you're saying. We have 36 rates in the system,
36. So
36 rates.
I would like to see what we could do about simplifying that and deal with Mike, since he kind of does this. And I don't know how many we need, but I know we can simplify it to make it easier on not just only the players that are paying for it, but also the shop, so they don't have so many different buttons that they need to look at pushing or different, options to go for. So I think we need to look at that. Something I did this morning is I called all the local Mojave County courses, and I got their local fees, non-local fees, what they consider local, non-local. I'll start Laughlin Ranch. They consider Mojave County local, which is something I think we need to abide by as well. It's $92 for a Mojave County resident, $148 for a non-local. Lake Havasu Golf Club, they consider just Havasu locals. It goes $78 to $94 for non-locals. Iron Wolf, they charge a straight up $85 for everybody, but then they have like twilight rates to where it kind of trickles down. Mojave Resort Golf Course, they do Mojave County locals as well, which is $68. Non-local is $88, and they provide range balls with every, payment of play, basically. And then El Rio is one I called. I mean, pretty crap course, but they're like at 49, and it's for everybody, and that's with range. So just to kind of give you an example of how much, and this is just our Mojave County. I know that you go to, like I said in the last meeting, you go to Phoenix or Vegas, you're paying $50 to $80 more for a non-local as compared to a local. And those non-locals beat this course up in COVID, and they paid the exact rate that we were. So I think that's something we really need to do, and I think we need to implement like immediately as soon as possible. Non-locals need to pay, I personally, and it can be voted on and talked about, but I think $65 to $70 for 18 holes with a cart should be a non-local. And then we just need to figure out what kind of discount we're getting, 30% or whatever it's going to be, to get that local fee around what it is today, 43 or 45 or whatever you guys decide. I think we're missing a lot of revenue, and we've been missing it for years, and that's, I think, where we're losing a lot of our money, where we can improve this course quite a bit. So that's my spiel.
First and foremost, thank you. That was excellent homework. Part two, and I agree with you. I have golfed with many out-of-town people, and they come here because it's cheap. So he's onto something, and I think we need to absolutely chase that fox.
I'll expand on a little bit on what Sean says. I think I've spoke with everybody in this room, including our two council persons. When we raise the rate 10%, I support that, but I also, the next question I ask is, what's everybody else paying? And is that are we in line with what everybody's done? And I start with that, and I know that sometimes it's maybe not the popular position, but if we want the course to be revenue neutral, and the closest it was to being revenue neutral was in 2019, that also coincides with when we raised the rates last to it. So since then, the rate has fallen off and our costs continue to go up. So it's a counterbalance that we're not gonna fix without being, in my opinion, without removing the emotion from it and saying, what should we be paying to play golf? I concur with what Sean has done. I've said all along, when we go out of town, just for the sake of the, use Firehouse round numbers, it's $100 for us to go to Havasu or to Williams or to anywhere else. Pick the weather and pick the forecast. I also will say that when I got the email and I'm going through the documents, 36 rates is too many to try to keep track of. I think we should absolutely pare that down. You pair it, and I'm being oversimplified, but you pair it to one rate, and if you're walking, we take $10 off, and if it's front nine, we take $5 off, or something that is simple and easy for everybody to grasp. If you're out of town, it's one rate. If you're in a local, and I'm good with whatever we decide, I'm not here trying to whittle that. But I also think that there's no reason for us to have 36 rates on there. I don't think that we should give, personally, it's gonna be probably very rough for some people. I don't think we give discounts if you're a firefighter, a teacher, or whomever, right? I mean, how is one golfer any better or any not better than somebody else? And so I think we should be looking at the totality of us as a board and the council is, what's it cost to golf everywhere else in Mojave County? And what do we expect to pay? And if we're gonna be under a little bit, that's okay, but I think we're under too much, personally. And then, as Sean said, then you just anchor off if it's, and again, I'm using round numbers because it's the easiest. If it's $70 for the out-of-town guy, and we're looking for $45 to $50 for the local person, then we give them that discount off of that, and we keep that discount. So you'd have out-of-town, in-town, and a junior rate. I think when I got it and opened it, and there's three pages to the spreadsheet, I'm like, this is way too complicated. And it doesn't need to be this complicated, and I think that while discounts are nice, we're already one of the cheapest courses in the entire area. Mojave County, Northwest Arizona, however you want to describe it. At the end of the day, my goal is to try to make the course be revenue neutral so that we don't have to keep going to the city and asking for more revenue. We also, all of us to a person, have said we want the course to be nicer and be better. And you can't do that without generating additional revenue either. And so the local golfers, while I concur with what you say, have a bone to pick occasionally, they've also said the same thing. Well, you can't get it nicer without generating more revenue. And so I think we should systematically look to do a couple things, which is put our rate at where it needs to be, eliminate all the different rate structures personally, and then put the money back into the course. That's kind of my tidbit. I appreciate what Sean did as well, because I know in my heart that everybody's paying between $80 to $110 a play everywhere else, and we come here and it's 54 to 46 to 35, depending on what rate on the 36 that I call and get it on. And so I think that's something we should fix as well.
Related, unrelated, one of your employees, while I was checking in, asked a gentleman there wearing a Navy hat if he was a vet, and I thought that was a very classy thing to do. As it turns out, the guy was a Navy football fan, and he was not a vet. But I thought it was very classy of that guy to ask him and apply the discount if it needed to be, and I think that employee needed to be patted on the back for that. In all of the discounts, in 36 charges, I agree, the charges need to be as easy as a McDonald's menu. Point on the food you want, right? I think we need to have a veteran rate. I think that would be very civil in a town that
We
is-
do, don't we?
We do now. I don't want to see it go away. Would you agree with that?
I think you're walking down a slippery slope because
Okay.
you're gonna have
Then you're gonna have firefighters and teachers.
teachers,
Yeah.
and it's gonna come off that I'm not supportive of veterans. I'm simply saying, you're gonna have to then say, and I'm pointing to people generically, we value your service, but not yours. And I just don't think that as a commission or as a municipal course, that we should be getting into the business of any of that. Ultimately, it's a council decision, but I think that's how you end up with 36 different rates when you start going down that
I
path.
think what is the veteran discount now? What is it, 10% maybe? So
And it's just, let me interrupt you 1 second. In my process before of doing what you have done on these different courses, that was the only discount that I found at a lot of places that was ever offered was veterans.
Yeah.
So just my thought.
And I have to interrupt.
But I'm with Pat. You start down this,
Yeah.
why, I'm a firefighter. I get
And
it.
we could also queue the same courses and see what kind of discounts they potentially are giving, and you're doing the same thing I just lobbied for, which is remove some of that emotion from it. I just think that anytime this is how we end up with Mike, you've been here the entire time. This is how we end up with 36 rates, is because we start peeling off, okay, county, city, school teacher, firefighter, retired, self-employed. I mean, I'm being theatrical now, but where's it stop? Self-employed,
Senior.
homemaker. I mean, it's like,
Stay-at-home
it
dad.
makes it a challenge for you guys at the desk, and it makes it a challenge for us at the, to do that stuff. And so, I'm not a,
I agree, because you can't say, let's simplify it and then start adding to it. I
Yeah.
agree.
And
So-
I'm not opposed to the veteran thing, but when you look at the big scope of the deal, you're saying it's 10%, so it's literally $3 or $4 is what that veteran's gonna save. Like, I don't think it's that big of a discount for anybody to really complain that they're getting or not getting. And like I said, it just adds to the thing, what else can we throw on there for discounts, so.
I'll go ahead and throw my 2 cents in here. I agree with both Commissioner Moore and Commissioner Lawson about the rate. Out-of-towners need to pay that more than $3 or $4 versus what the city local is. I mean, as long as a lot of us have played golf, when we go out of town, we're expecting to pay that extra $25, $30, $40, whatever it is on top of the local rate. I think we're losing lost revenue and all that stuff. As far as the 36 rate thing, that's way too many as well. We need to narrow that down. As far as the discounts in that go, I mean, I would have to say there's a lot of people that don't even know we offer discounts unless they're asked, I didn't, and for example, last time I went and played, I was playing with my boss, who's a veteran, and he thought the discount was great just because they offered it at the desk. But I mean, other than that, he goes, hell, I could have saved a lot of money through the summertime if I had known that they had the discount. But I mean, so they're not missing that discount. I'm on the same page with Commissioner Moore. Not that I don't support people, veterans and stuff, but just it gets a slippery slope when you start doing stuff. I've seen advertisements where we have like school appreciation, Teachers Day or whatever it is, and they come out and like on a Wednesday or whatever to drive business. I understand that as well, but I think there's different revenue and different directions you can do with like throwing in hot dogs and stuff like that to try to get a lower rate, more people driving than just a teacher or something like that. So that's just kind of my 2 cents, but I think the biggest thing we need to look at is not just necessarily the discounts, but as far as the out of town play, the rate for that.
Might I interject on a more global view of this, Mike? You need to be consistent across Parks and Rec. You're giving a veteran's discount for a swimmer and not a golfer, then that's a whole nother argument you need to make. So this may be, while we're looking at it, geocentric to this one issue, you may need to be looking at it more globally across the board of, as a Parks and Rec department as a whole, because I know you have these fee issues in other areas, and they're draconian at best.
If I could touch on just a couple things, and I'll let Mike put a lot of work into this recommendation. And basically what we look at, we don't look at every golf course in the area necessarily. We look at municipal golf courses because we're a municipal golf course. And so that's kind of how we get to where the rate should be, where a resident rate should be. Should it be a City of Kingman a City of Kingman resident only? No, we said City of Kingman address. So that's taking people outside of, and so it's not everybody in the county because, like I said, we're a municipal golf course. So we look at what the other municipal golf courses and primarily in our state do. But so that's how we came up with that. And then Mike's going to go over this. And what we did with this, we took all these rates and put them into this little box to be all the only rates we would have. And the reason we did that is so we set a non-resident rate a lot higher than we said, if you're a resident, you'll get a discount off of that. And if you're a veteran, you'll get a discount off that and not a resident discount, not a resident and a veteran. So Mike can explain how he got to a lot of these, but that's kind of what that is. If you look at that, this is all the rates we have, and he's got it, whether he can pull it up on the computer even. So we can look at it on the screen and see it.
So up top, you'll see the 36 rates, right? 9 rates times 4. On the bottom left, you'll see 9 holes, walking, riding, weekday, 18 holes, walking, riding, weekday, weekend. So right there, those are 6 rates. Those are 6 rates. Then on the bottom, you have junior rates. And I'm of opinion, juniors are juniors are juniors are juniors. I don't really care where you live. If you're a junior, you're a junior. And you get that rate, whether it's walking or riding, whatever that is. So those rates stay completely the same for juniors. And then, so to the left are the residents. So there's no discounts for the junior rates. They are what they are. Residents get what this shows is the residents get a 10% discount off the base rate. Seniors and veterans get a 20% discount off the base rate. The base rate is based on everyone else. Outside play.
So the base rate is non-residents.
The base rate is non-resident. Now, those rates can change. If you guys want to change them, I'm completely understand it and I'm fine with it. I get it. But this now, we've come down to basically 6 rates, okay? Plus junior rates, which is 9 holes walking and riding, 18 holes walking and riding. Those are 4 separate rates, which never change. It's for any junior, anywhere where it is. So that's what this is. If those rates want to change on your recommendations, then we change your rates. Residents get 10% off, seniors, veterans get 20% off. And oh, by the way, the senior discount now is not 10%, it's 20%. Our $44 green fee, seniors pay $36. And on Wednesdays after 10 a.m., it's not seniors, excuse me, veterans pay $36. And on Wednesdays after 10 a.m., veterans pay $25, including cart.
Senior
So-
discounts don't apply to annual passes, though.
No.
No, they do not. That's a whole nother can of worms, right? But
But you know where I'm going with
I know,
this.
yeah, because I listened to someone say, "When am I going to get a veteran discount off the season pass holder?" You're not. I mean, right? This is my opinion. I understand in the past how they've tried to raise money. We need to stop giving this place away. We're giving it away in too many areas. We have too good a golf course. We have too good a facility. We have too good of a driving range, a putting green, a chipping green. We have a really nice facility. And I think sometimes we literally just give it away because we want people to play. And that's why we have that 2-for-1 discount on green fees. That's why veterans are now on Wednesdays after 10 a.m. It's 25. Teachers on Friday after 10 a.m. is 25. I understand what we're trying to do, but that's not going to raise the revenue that you're trying to raise. It's just not going to. So that's what this is, the base rate for the non-residents. And if you guys want to change that, I'm open to it. I'm open to doing whatever needs to be done, and I'll be more than welcome. I'll be more than willing to implement whatever's done. I'm good with whatever's done. But this was because of what I've seen over years and years and years and years. We also understand that I've been asked about a 1 rate for 7 days versus 2 rates for 7 days because you have Monday through Friday, then weekends and holidays. The Monday through Friday and weekends and holidays is a West Coast thing, not an East Coast thing, for the most part, from what I've understood. You go to East Coast golf course and they have 1 rate because they don't play 12 months a year. They have 1 rate. If you want to have 1 rate for 7 days a week, have 1 date for every single day of the year, obviously except Christmas, and then base the resident rate and the veterans and senior rate off that rate, whatever that is. If you want to go to a weekend and holiday rate, then go to a weekend and holiday rate. You just add a couple, whatever the dollar value is. Then you have 9 holes weekday, 9 holes, 18 holes, riding and walking weekdays, riding, walking weekends and holidays. And then you take a resident discount, then you take a senior discount and a veterans discount. And that's what the number is. And then if you want to have other little specials, have other little specials. And I'm fine with that too, because I understand it's hard to get people to play this golf course between noon and 3 p.m. when it's 105 degrees. I get that part. But at the same time, after 3 o'clock, this place gets really busy. And Sean knows it. Everyone knows this place gets really, really busy after 3 o'clock. So what we're trying to do during the downtime to alleviate some of that is by encouraging people, right, Sean, to make tee times. Because we don't want 30 people showing up without a tee time, and now it's a free-for-all on the first tee. So part of my responsibility with my staff is as people start to walk in, please get into the habit of making a tee time So you have a guaranteed tee time as opposed to waiting in line for the next 20 people to tee off.
And they have been good about that, so please continue that, Mike.
So we are going to continue that, because if you want this facility to be like you want it to be, and let's face it, everyone wants this facility to be great. Everyone does. That part of my responsibility for the staff is to please start making tee times so you have a guaranteed time as opposed to waiting for the next 5 groups to tee off. Because now you're just a walk-in. And my basis of a walk-in is coming from Palo Alto Muni, where we used to have between 30 and 40 people on the wait list at all times. That's why we were so vigilant with tee times. If you didn't make your tee time, you weren't there before 10 minutes before your tee time, you didn't play. You didn't play. I understand we have to be way more flexible here, and I'm 100% good with that. So I'm used to the wait list. But the wait list is called the wait list for a reason. It means you'll wait while the people who have guaranteed tee times tee off first. So that's what this rate does. I believe it helps everything in every situation. Again, the rates can be changed. I fully understand that. My staff and I will be more than happy to implement whatever is discussed. But bless you. But that's what we've done, is we've gotten rid of 36 rates and brought it down to basically 6 plus juniors, which is 10 total.
This next comment is for our audience members. Old people vote. And that's who we're pricing out. And that's who I'm hearing from. And 10% is wrecking them. I've had 3 people, 2 of which did away with their passes. 1 has went back to a 5-day. 10%'s a lot. That's all I'm saying. I'm representing them. That's my job on this commission. I'm representing them. And I get it. I am with you 100%. I agree with everything that has been said. We got to keep them in mind. You've got some older folks out there that you're pricing them out.
I don't
And I
necessarily,
can't modify their priorities. So, maybe they need
I
to
wonder
make.
what the percentage is of retirees, seniors that play.
so the thing though, your Surbat Cliffs isn't pricing these older people out. It's the economy that's pricing them out. Like Surbat Cliffs can't keep just giving free stuff away. We need to charge for it. We need to increase our revenue. You go play anywhere else in the country, this is the cheapest course I've ever seen that I've went and played. Municipal, private, it don't matter. And we haven't raised rates at all since 2019, so I feel bad for them, but I'm sure they could probably figure it out if they really wanted to keep playing golf or play golf less. Buy the 5-day pass instead of the 7-day pass.
I do appreciate
They could figure it out.
I do appreciate you going back and using the municipals as comparables. Well done.
Well, and if I could, the season pass holders, even with 10% added on there, it's still a good value for what they're getting. And when we had a consultant come in and look at our rates, he said our golf course was, and this was when it was in rough shape, okay, after the driest, hottest year on record. And he said that our golf course was as good as any $65 course that he sees. So, I mean,
Oh, yeah.
our rates are they're very low. And so we're looking at, to simplify it, we're trying to make it so that we set the non-resident rate and the other rates are discounted off of that. Resident rate is discounted off of that. And if we're going to do a senior rate, it's discounted off of that. It's just easier for them to hit the key 15% discount senior. It's a resident rate, 10% discount. So that's kind of how the green section there is set up. So, and if we want to raise the non-resident rate higher, we could do that. And then we could give a bigger discount to residents. And so we could attack it like that. But that's how Mike put a lot of work into that and did a lot of calculations that he's come up with that. So,
Yeah, well, then I'm okay with, figuring out with the council and everybody else what a non-resident rate needs to be. And I am strong on at least 65, 70 or so for now. And then we can readjust down the road because, I've been telling everybody that we're kind of getting the ball rolling with this course. We're seeing improvement on it, but I think once everything catches, we have a great pro now, somebody that actually cares. I'm sorry, but we haven't had that in a while here. So the course is going to get better. So there's going to be people that are going to kill to play this course for $70 from Phoenix or Vegas or anything like that. So then we can decide to bump it up then. But I think we need to start with that. Do whatever it is, a 30% discount for locals to get down to the 43 or 44, whatever the percentage is, have a button for that. And then figure out, do we want to do seniors and veterans also 30 or do 35 to where they save a couple more bucks on that? Whether you're an out of towner or not, if we want to do that or we don't, because personally, like, I don't know if out of town seniors deserve the same discount as me, because I get that he's a senior and he deserves some special privileges, but he doesn't pay the taxes like I do in this town, so I don't think he should get the same services I do. And then that just kind of goes off of what Pat said with veterans. I love helping our veterans out, but where does it stop? You know, now it's veteran seniors. You know, we have a teacher day, we have.
Those are
first
the
responders.
teacher day and stuff that you're referring to, though. Those
Yeah,
are
I
only
know.
in the heat of the day,
That-
the
that-
hot
and that-
time of the day,
And
so.
that's what I'm saying is like, when do we stop kind
Yeah.
of deal? So, and I'm fine with either way. I'm not gonna complain that a senior and a veteran gets my discount. But I'm saying that maybe they shouldn't, you know, if they're out of town. So that's my input on it, but I definitely think we need to jump that rate up substantially soon, because we're just losing money every day, I think.
And what we could do, we could make the veterans rate is only in the heat of the day. We could do that too, if we, you know,
Yeah.
if we think that they do need a rate, that could be during, you know, after 11 o'clock in the morning, in other words, because basically our busiest time is obviously mornings.
Yeah,
And that's when the majority of our season pass holders are playing too. And that's what gets their rate down to be so affordable. Why our season passes are such a good deal too, because they're playing in the prime time of the day, most of them.
well,
So
yeah, and
anyway.
that's what I'm trying to get across.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not worried about the seniors and the veterans
Right.
discount. If city council and everybody wants to give that to them, I'm fine with it too. I'm not gonna say yes or no on that, but I definitely think we need to bump the rate, figure out what percentage discounts we need to give for everybody and get it in place.
So in looking at the green section, you're saying raise the base rate higher and give the residents a higher discount and veterans and seniors
Yeah.
a higher
So
discount again,
I-
and go high. So
So
we
I
can,
did the math at the house, and I think a $70 with a 30% discount brings it to around $45. I can't remember off the top of my head.
$70 with a 30% discount brings it to $49.
49, okay, so then 35 or whatever the
Well,
percentage
but then
is.
you give a I'm a math nerd, so.
Okay.
But if you give a 40% discount off that, it's $42, which is exactly what the seniors are paying now.
Okay,
Including cart, $42 for residents. That's what senior residents pay now.
okay.
Okay? Then if you want to have the veterans being the same thing, then it's the same thing. Then their rate goes up a little bit, but it's the same rate, as opposed to having another rate discount, and another rate discount.
Yeah, and
which
that's
is what
my-
we're all trying to get away from.
And that's my issue too, is like, non-locals, I don't think should get a 40%. A non-local veteran or senior shouldn't get a 40% discount. They can have their 10% discount off of 70 if they're non-local, right? But then there we are again, more buttons to push.
Right.
Right? So I'm just trying to simplify it and get it to where, you know, the non-locals are paying what they need to pay. And I don't think we need to separate, you know, veteran non-locals and combine them with that. So I don't think a out-of-town senior or veteran should be paying $42 to play this course. He needs to be paying pretty close to those, you know, non-local fees. So,
I think it's highly fair,
yeah.
Yeah.
honestly.
And
I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
I agree with Sean as well. It definitely needs to be more than $5 or $6 for that. One of the things that we've never, I shouldn't say never, but I haven't heard anything about our local rate is too high, other than some of the discount conversations, right? But
Right.
if I go in there and I pay it's 45, 46, whatever it is, I think we're all in agreement that's not the issue. The issue is more of the out-of-town rate, right? I think it needs to be up a little bit higher. I know you're trying to do like the resident discounts to get it down where it's at, and there's buttons on the POS system to do that. But I mean, I don't know feasible. I know it probably costs updates or whatever it is financially for that, but that button, 10% discount button, could also be a resident button where the resident rate's $46 versus a discount off of $70 as well. So that, you know what I mean, you guys, it sounds like you're trying to get a local rate based off of a percentage off of the non-local rate.
Right, but in the point of sale system, that's the easiest thing to do.
Okay.
It
Okay.
just is, because if you give them another specific rate, then that's another SKU they have to deal with.
No, I'm saying you take the 10 or the 30% discount straight out, and you just have a non-local rate a local rate, a senior rate, and a veteran rate, and you just push that button, and it doesn't discount anything. It just comes up that rate. You know what I
Right,
mean?
I understand what you're saying,
Right.
but we're gonna go from one button to 4 or 5 more. I mean, it's just, as opposed to $70, 30% off, you owe me 49. Because right now, because I've showed the staff how to apply that, and it's very simple. It's really easy.
No, I want whatever's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so they know how to do it. All the staff knows exactly how to, like, it's a 40% discount. That's the button you hit, and it takes it off. Green
Perfect.
fee, cart fee, and it comes. So
Perfect. Don't change it. Something that's simple.
you know what I mean?
right?
It's- I
just-
got, dude. I'm a man. I like
you're,
simple.
You're good. I agree with Sean. And I think everybody up here, the biggest issue is the non-residential rate being $5 or $6 more. It needs to be significantly higher, $20, $25, $30, whatever it is. I don't think we need to touch resident rates or anything like that. I think we need to match that discount button to accommodate where it's at now. But I think we need to definitely adjust that non-local rate for sure.
And if you want me to do that, I can go back and adjust these rates that you see on the left-hand side that shows the 6 rates to where, and then if we want a whatever the percentage is discount for the residents, percentage discount is for the seniors and veterans, to where it's now, to where the price is now, I can get that taken care of.
Yeah, that's what I want. That's what I wanted for a
yes.
while.
Yes.
I do like what you said about junior being a junior. I'm okay.
100%.
I'm okay with a non-local kid coming to play our course for a junior.
Grow
leagues.
the game.
I want to grow
Yeah.
the game, and
Grow
I
the game.
appreciated that when I was a kid. So I believe in that. But yeah, I don't know if we need to keep talking, or city council needs to talk about, what percentages and what the price needs to be set
Well,
at. But
If I could, just real quick, what we do usually when we do this, we can bring this back to you guys after we adjust that higher and do that again. And what we usually do is, if we set a rate and you don't like it, we could even go back to council and say, this is what staff recommended and this is what the commission recommended. So we could do that as well. But we can adjust these in the green section to what you've recommended to us, try to get that, and then bring it back to you to look at and make approve it or make a recommendation again.
okay,
So that, I think, might maybe be the easiest way, I think,
Piece of cake.
to, that
And
makes
then
sense to you
then
guys.
I think that should be the action item that we're going to do, is give this back to be reworked for Mike, looking at residents, normalizing as we can get, raising non-residents, bring that back, we will go back over it and try to make a decent, honest, first-time pass proposal to council. Fair enough? Everyone in agreement with that?
wait. So
I agree.
if we put that into place now, and then we have to re-vote on it in 2 more months at the next meeting. Is that what you're saying?
I want to see what the new work looks like, yes. So it doesn't need,
And-
to be-
and-
it doesn't need to be to council until what, January, February?
We can send it to council whenever, but I mean, it takes a while to implement those rates anyways, and it takes a little bit after that, so,
We got a minute.
Okay,
yeah.
We
I
got a
mean,
minute. We got a minute.
losing money. That's all I'm saying.
well, we're not losing that much during the winter, so it's a good time.
You're probably not
I
right.
don't know, with this winter right now, it's gorgeous out there.
Beautiful, yeah.
Mike,
Yes.
thank you for your work on that, though.
You're welcome.
And for
Yep.
explaining that so precisely. And the junior thing, that was solid.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yep.
So just real quick, are we able to schedule like a special meeting once those numbers are done? That way we can get the ball rolling, so we're not waiting 6 months
We can do a
to
special
do
meeting
that?
of
Yeah,
single
and
focus.
just go over that and nothing else. That'd be great. Now,
Yes.
do we have to give you a number now, or how does that work now, right? We've thrown out some numbers.
But what you told me is that you want the residents, you want the current rates for the residents to stay that number
Yeah,
once I come up with a base rate, which is non-resident,
yeah,
right?
Yes.
So that gives me an idea. And if it goes up 75 cents to $1, it's not a big deal,
yeah.
right? What you don't want me to do is raise it $10. I understand what you're trying to say.
Exactly.
So if you want a number for the base rate, which is non-resident rate, and then the residents get X amount of discount, which would be this price. The seniors and veterans get X amount of discount, which would be this price, and which would be in the same neighborhood of what they're paying correctly. The only difference is, I'm telling you right now, the veterans rate is going up. More than likely. Because if you want seniors and veterans to be the same compared to what the veteran rate is now, it's going up.
Okay,
I'm just gonna go, it's not gonna go up drastically, but it's going up.
okay,
You know what I'm saying?
yeah. But do we, what's the base price we're going off of right now? Is that something we need to talk about, or are you gonna figure
No,
it out?
that's something,
or-
let me figure out based on what you want,
Okay,
and then and then I will do some quick phone calls to more other municipalities or look up other municipalities that are
yep.
equal with us
Yeah,
and see what they're charging.
Call Elephant Rocks when they reopen, but it's gonna be a while, but call Prescott.
Yeah, and just kind of find out what that is, and then that's not that difficult.
Okay.
Okay, so as this goes as an agenda item, then we will leave that to Mike to come back to us either A, at the next meeting or through a special session. And we will review that homework that you provide, and then we will approve or deny at that time, I guess. Yeah, fair enough?
Yeah.
'Cause Sean, I have an idea what you guys want.
Yeah.
You know, I don't need the exact price. I have an idea. That's good
Perfect.
enough. Yeah.
Mike, how quick do you think you can get that to us?
I can get it to you by the end of the year.
Great.
So I'm leaving for a couple days, but when I get back, I'll be more than happy to dive head in with this.
Sounds
Yep,
good.
we're good.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
I think you're up again, aren't you,
Superintendent,
for the golf report? Alex?
superintendent.
Oh, it's Alex, okay. All right, item 4, reports, golf course superintendent report. Thank you, Alex. Welcome.
Good afternoon. We're going to go ahead and get started with the golf course superintendent report. We're going to begin with fall aerification practices. For the golf course tees, a 1/2-inch solid tine was used to penetrate the soil surface to allow proper water, drainage, and nutrients down to the root zone. This process helps break up the thatch layer, allowing water, sunlight, and again, proper nutrients to penetrate the soil surface and work their way down to the root zone. Without seasonal cultural practice, the thatch layer will become equivalent to a woven mat, restricting water and nutrients from reaching the root zone and sitting on the surface. Course fairways were aerified using a 1/2-inch solid tine at 4-inch hole spacing. The trouble spots in fairways where germination has proven difficult were aerified multiple times in multiple directions to help ensure a proper route of travel for nutrients down to the root zone. Trouble spots were then sanded, seeded, and then roped and staked off to help the newly laid seed germinate. Course screens were aerified using the 648 walk-behind Toro aerifier. 1/4-inch needle tine at 2-inch hole spacing was used. After the greens were punched, they were then rolled 2 different directions to ensure a level playing surface after this process. We utilized a solid micro tine. It allows for a quicker healing process for the aerification holes on the greens, On the left, it's going to be a picture of the aerification process on our tees. Again, they were aerified with a 1/2-inch solid tine at a 4-inch hole spacing. In the middle, it's a picture of the range tee being aerified. And on the right, that's going to be hole 12 aerified, hole 12 fairway. On the left, that's the Toro Procore, the 648 walk-behind aerifier. In the middle, that's our bigger greens roller. Greens were rolled 2 different directions. And on the right, that's after the process. Okay, that'll wrap it up for aerification. Golf course greens. Liquid herbicide applications continue in 2-week intervals. Right now at a full rate. We will be looking to knock down to either a 1/2 rate or a 1/4 rate now that we have entered the winter season. Shows strong signs of the southern brass button dying out. Areas on greens where the southern brass button weed has been sprayed out are being seeded with L93 bent seed and green sanded to help regrowth. Greens are verticut one direction and double mowed weekly to continue to keep the thatch layer open. This process will slow as the winter season approaches. Again, the greens are not growing like they would in the spring or summer, so we will slow down on that going into the winter season. Golf course fairways, herbicide applications have been applied to golf course roughs, fairways, tees, and green surrounds to help combat the onset of the spotted spurge red weed. Ropes and stakes continue to be utilized in areas where seed germination has proven difficult. Multiple areas that are roped and staked off are showing strong signs of germination and are being consolidated or removed as needed. As well as in the winter season, we are still utilizing ropes and stakes to kind of break up heavy cart traffic now that the grass is not growing as much as it usually does. It'll help break up that cart traffic where needed. Golf course tees. With cooler weather approaching, tee markers are being moved at minimum daily as the turf will be entering its dormancy. Tee markers are being set 5 to 7 paces apart to keep divot patterns to a minimum and in one location on the tee complex. Divots on tee tops continue to be sanded and seeded at a minimum of 3 times per week. There's some additional items here. Multiple low spots and trip hazards along cart paths have been identified, filled, packed down, and leveled. These areas are revisited frequently to ensure customer safety. New bunker rakes have been ordered and allocated across course bunkers as needed. They are audited frequently as they are frequently broken, and they are ordered as needed. Cart path grinding is being coordinated with the City of Kingman Public Works. It will be taking place during winter projects. I have spoken to them as recently as Monday. We're trying to coordinate that with them with their busy season and try to get that onto our schedule as well in the coming weeks. Retraining is taking place for operators. It doesn't really pertain so much right now for operators when mowing around tree wells that may contain rock or deep roots. They are being retrained to avoid roots as well as rocks to mow around trees to ensure the longevity of not only the mower, but where the rocks may land. Green surrounds, greens, where customers walk, they could slip. So they are being encouraged and retrained to avoid these areas. Multiple areas on cart paths where previously held water have been rotor-rooted. These drains are visited frequently as nearby tree roots have grown into the perforated pipe. They restrict drainage. Remaining section of cart path was framed and poured next to number 1T. A section of cart path where a cart had driven through after it had been freshly poured was removed, warmed and poured again. It is now open to cart traffic. Roughly 65 feet of new PVC pipe has been installed since our last commission meeting, varying from 1.25 inches up to 4 inches in size. 19 new sprinklers were installed, varying from Hunter I-20s to Toro 850 cans. 2 2-inch electric valves, 1 2-inch electric valve diaphragm, 1 4-inch saddle, 1 2-inch gate valve, 1 new satellite station card, 1 new 1-inch electric valve have been installed since the last golf commission meeting. And that will do it for the superintendent report. Are there any questions?
I have a question.
Yes.
On the August 8th meeting, we discussed hole 8 and the trip hazard.
Okay.
I see on your weekly report, on November 25th, you seeded and cleaned the area and weeded and tilled 8. I didn't see where that was done. But a question was, that gravelous area where you have to walk up and down is so dangerous. And you said, well, maybe we can put some seed there, but no action taken. So I'm curious.
The number 8
Yeah,
cart path turnaround.
yeah.
So that's something we can look at. We can either maybe possibly look at cutting the curbing out, and maybe we can get some wooden steps up there. Maybe that'll be a safer way to get up that slope.
I get a lot of complaints from fellow golfers.
Maybe a little safer than grass, because grass, as we know,
Yeah.
we can still slip on.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Mike.
What we can do, we can rope that area off for now and just have them go around the back and come up the backside. Because there's a lot of walk-up area along the backside of that green that people don't use, and several of them will go over there to the little short turnaround that you're talking about. But if you park along the back, there's a lot of walk-up areas, so we can just keep the carts, keep people off of that for a while, just block
Well,
it off, I
it's
think would
not
be a good
gonna-
idea.
It's not gonna improve by just leaving it alone.
Well, no, you would have to seed it and grow the grass in there, I think, so, or sod it, take it out and put sod in there. We can do that too, but it still takes keeping people off of it for a while to make it work, whichever we do.
As long as the attempt is made to do something
Yeah.
to.
Agreeing with the commissioner, we brought that up before, and you had identified that as a high-traffic area, high-route area, very hard for seed to take. It probably will need to be seeded. I absolutely agree with you, coming up off of the back is the way to go. You addressed that as well and said that that was a high-traffic area, and putting seed there was nothing more than bird food at that point. And so it's something that we know is on your radar. You've been working on that, but please, I have also heard multiple complaints about that. Hey, thank you for the work you're doing. Many times I felt like we've been screaming into the ether, and you went right down my list. And so thank you for that.
Absolutely.
The rakes, I thanked you personally for that. Lots of compliments on that. So what you went through just there was exactly those issues that we've been addressing. A major fan of the stakes and the rope. Please continue to do that because it is working.
Back to that area that you're referring to, that tree there is one of the trees that our consultant that came to the golf course recommended that we take down. Whenever you get trees that are so close to the green, it's challenging, so.
Yeah.
The tree does cause a lot of problems for that area, so.
Right.
And Alex addressed that at the first time we brought that up, that it was a massive root area, and that it was probably looking at sod. Water was available there, but it would probably ultimately need to be sodded, roped, and staked. So, very good.
One other thing, you got some sand traps that have the new sand in, they're great. Are you anticipating repairing some of the other ones with the better sand?
Yeah, we're currently working around right now. We're, I believe, just wrapped up or close to wrapping up number 4 Greenside today, and we're basically working forward around the course. So,
Yeah, they look good, yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for that drain work. That, like I said, was another consulting that came in, and we paid a large amount of money to get that drain study done. So I have noticed improvements in those areas. You know as well as I, a drain that doesn't drain isn't a drain, and it also wrecks your cement. So you've got other long-term issues with that. So thank you for that. The weed spraying of that red root, you were talking about getting a weed sprayer from Parks and Rec, Public Works. Were you able to obtain that? And has pesticide been?
So that was actually on one of the slides that I'd gone through. A few weeks past, we did get it out, wall-to-wall herbicide applications, tees, fairways, green surrounds.
Good.
And it's pretty much almost killed it out completely right now. So
The golf course itself does not have the sprayer. You need to borrow that.
as of right now, yes.
Mike, is that on your radar?
Yeah, I think they're still waiting on a part, and
Okay.
it's crazy that it takes that long for things, but it just does. I mean,
Okay.
and I'm not sure if they are considering budgeting. We're in the process of preparing budgets right now. They could be considering possibly a new sprayer even, and which would be a good investment, obviously, so.
You're okay on the herbicide, it's just a matter of spreading it that's got you hung up.
Yeah, just a means of getting it out.
I think that's all I've got. What do you guys got? Let's go around the horn.
Yeah, I don't have anything, really.
Have you received the top dressing machine yet?
We have.
We
It
got
was
it?
about halfway through to 3/4 way through of our greens aerification, so it was about halfway through October.
Awesome. So we're gonna start using that like pretty consistently throughout the months, like not just when we're aerifying and stuff?
We do have plans, not
Okay.
only for greens, fairways, tees,
And-
whatever we need it for.
I know in that report, he talked about throwing some like different seed to like change the structure of the grass here. We're gonna start doing that too.
Yep,
Like put on the
absolutely.
course? Awesome, thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, I got a couple things. The brass button, are we, like, is that pretty much done, or is that gonna be just a consistent fight year round?
So I would imagine until it's pretty much eradicated, it's going to be consistent. Right now, we are doing pretty well with it, but we want to keep up that herbicide until we do see total eradication.
My understanding is that's gonna go nuts in the spring. Is that consistent with what you know?
once it does warm up, it does show some
Yes,
pretty strong signs.
I could touch on that a little bit too. What it does, it overseeds itself. So that seed is laying dormant in there, but they are doing a really good job of keeping after it. And, it just gets a little bit scary spraying greens with herbicides when it's 100 degrees. So the summer is the most challenging time. So, but they've done a really good job of getting it in check, so.
Sounds like he's hitting it hard in the season in which he needs to hit it, correct? Anything else for Alex? Hey, thank you. Your efforts are appreciated.
Thank you.
They are noticed and they are appreciated. Let's move on to the golf course superintendent report, yeah? Golf pro, excuse me. Mr. Matheson.
Oops. So what you have is a comparison for the month of November from 2025, 2024, and 2023 regarding 9-hole rounds, 18-hole rounds, dollar values. We did 502 rounds more this year than a year ago in the month of November. It also shows the cart fee finances, alcohol finances, food finances, merchandise finances, passes, et cetera, down the line. So it shows for the month of November this year, we did a little over $114,000 in business compared to $86,000 a year ago, compared to $76,000 in 2023. And I understand there's a lot of mitigating factors to that, but that's just the bottom line. So we were up 502 rounds from a year ago, and obviously Mother Nature plays a part. I tell people all the time, Mother Nature plays a part in the golf course, whether it's good or bad, it always plays a part. And the driving range, the credit card machine has been leaps and bounds, I think better than people had expected. It's gone down twice, but for very, very, very short periods of time. And that has, we did on the range 2,300 in the pro shop, 2,100 on the credit card machine. So that gives it 4,500 for the year. I mean, for the month of November. Last year, the month of November was just under $3,000. So the credit card machine, and we're telling people when they come in the shop to buy range balls with the credit card that we love seeing their lovely faces, but if they just want to go straight to the range and use their credit card, they're more than welcome to do that. And so that's being done. We ordered more baskets because they tend to disappear, and thankfully they're still there, so that's good. Because those baskets aren't cheap. It's like $9 a basket. So you order 12 of them, you're out $108, $110 easily, quickly. Mike Southland's been here for about a month, done a really good job. He and I pretty much see eye to eye on a lot of things about how he loves this place. He wants it to do well. And he's been a really, really, really good addition. For someone who owns his own business, and he sees things from a different point of view that I do, which I thoroughly appreciate. And his background is in this place too, where I don't have the background at Surbat Cliffs. He was here a couple of years ago, was here for a minute. And so he understands the ups and downs, the pluses, the minuses, the good and the bad. So he understands all that stuff. Obviously, we know now the frost is prevalent. It's pretty much on a daily basis. It's pretty interesting listening to people try to outguess what time the frost is going to be, but the frost is the frost. And, frost wins. And I would much rather go out 15 minutes too late than 15 minutes too early. Bottom line.
What is the notification process to the pro shop of frost? Are you making that call or?
No, first of all, when I walk out of my apartment complex at 4 a.m, I can tell there's frost. I've been around it long enough to understand. And the golf course sits in a little bit of a valley. It sits down. There's not a lot of wind. And when you have no clouds in the sky and no wind overnight, we're going to have frost. That's just the way it is. But I get a text from Alex 5 a.m., 5:15, saying, "Hey, we have frost. Not a problem. Tell me when to go, and we'll go."
Okay,
So
that's been the practice here, I think, for a long time.
Yeah,
So
and I'm
glad to
100%
hear
good with the
that's still
practice. Then he
Protective of you.
he gives me a 20%, he gives me a 20-minute leeway, like, hey, we're getting ready, it's just so you know. So then I go out and tell people, here's what we're going to do. We announce them over the first tee if we're really busy, who's on the first tee, and here's how we go about life. And then Alex says we're on the first tee, they can leave, or we're on the first green, they can tee off as soon as we leave the green. And then that's pretty much the way it is. If I don't put out the frost signs at dark 30, one of his staff members comes out not much later than dark 30 and puts out the frost signs. So, and it's really, really, really good communication.
It's been a pretty efficient manner in which has been done. I know Mike was doing that before when he was there, that call came from the shack, send them out. And that goes clear back to.
Yeah, he knows, like Alex gives me a lead time, 15 to 20 minutes, as opposed to you can start them now. I hate that. I want, so I can figure out who's on the first tee. I can ask the Elks how many players, how many teams, how many groups they have. I can ask the ladies how many groups they have. I can ask whomever how many groups they have, and then we can start making announcements on the first tee. Here's who's up. Here's who's second. Here's who's third, and we do that during the 15 minutes when Alex tells me you can go at whatever that time is.
The message there is hand in glove working together, and that sounds very
Yeah.
positive.
So it's a good thing. It's just funny listening to guys trying to outguess the frost, because I've listened to it for many years. I'm looking to add more tournaments in 2026. In the month of March and April, we have 8 Saturdays, and 4 of them are already filled with tournaments. 3 of which are, from what I can tell, full field tournaments. One of which is going to have 80 players. On a Monday in January, February, I can't remember, we have the Battle of Mojave County. So they're coming out for a 9 o'clock shotgun. And then we know that's going to be a little bit dicey based on everything else, but they fully understand frost and all that fun sort of stuff. So my goal is to have more and more tournaments. I think that's a benefit to the golf course in more ways than one. I think that if we want to have something that we're incredibly proud of, having good tournaments and having them run well and having people enjoy their day at the golf course is a great way to show our place. And that comes from
the game.
they do, and look, the bottom line is, regardless, tournaments spend money, tournaments make money. That's just the way it is. That's the way it is. I don't care where you go, and that's part of what we do. I talked to Mr. Moore yesterday about knowing when the Shuffler tournament is, so that's now on the books, 13th to 14th of June, because Father's Day is the following week this year. So, yeah, Father's Day is the 20th and 21st, so we obviously can't have it on Father's Day. So that's taken care of. We're pretty much almost packed in September and October, so it's just the end of it's just, I like tournaments. I like running tournaments. I like having tournaments. I think it's best for the golf course when we have them.
Can you give me an idea what percentage the golf course makes on those? How much do you make on the tournaments?
Well, it depends. It goes to, are you in season or out of season? Because obviously the August tournaments are different than the October tournaments, because October is it's not 105 degrees. In addition, are they buying food? What are they doing? Every golf course has their own, every golf tournament has their own little quirk, as they say, about what they do. And so it's just, and plus I am implementing a new contract for everyone effective in 2026, because I have no idea what the contract was before then. And to make the dollar value, everyone knows the dollar value when they sign the contract. I don't think that's been done in the past. I really don't. And I don't know, because I haven't seen a contract from previous years.
The complaint before also was it was wildly varied based on the audience. So if you can centralize that, uniform it, that would be helpful as well.
Correct.
We understand some are charities, we understand some are schools, whatever.
Right.
But yes, that needed to be done.
The dollar value is the dollar value. It
Yeah,
is.
if you would, I can allude to some of that. So could Mike, I'm sure. I'm involved in several of the tournaments, but typically the dollar value's been the same for every tournament I've been involved with, whether it's the Cowboy Classic, one of the school tournaments, or the Shuffler. But typically, almost all those tournaments are going to bring 144 golfers to the course. And in Shuffler's case, sometimes we bring 174, whatever that number was. We had 44 teams, which was too many, and we're marching that back. But I can say, and I think Mike could and Alex and these guys certainly could, that Wednesday, Thursday, Friday are probably some of the busiest days on the course as well. And so we receive that benefit from the turnstile turning from everybody going out to practice. And so most of those tournaments, and I support, and I applaud the tournaments, and Mike and I've had these discussions. Tournaments, in my opinion, are good for the course. They generate revenue and they generate play. And so they also generate lunch and
Yeah.
in some aspect beer sales. So
They do. It's the truth. They generate lunch, they generate maybe breakfast, they generate alcohol sales, it's what they generate. It's just what they do. And so that's where you look to add more to your golf course as much as possible. And then, with still everyone having the opportunity to play, but this is a Saturday tournament golf course. It's just what it is. We're a morning golf course and we're a Saturday tournament golf course. That's who we are. And you can't shy away from it. You can't run away from it. You just have to grow it, basically.
If I could real quick, to address what you were talking about too, is we don't really base the rates on if it's a charity or anything like that. We base it on if it's 144 players or 30 players. If you're 144, you're going to get a better rate than you're going to get if you have a 30 player.
Prorated back.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So that's kind of how we have always done it.
So I'm also working with the Aquarius Casino Resort to book guests. They called me, and we have booked one small group. They came in, played, and I invoiced them, and she sent me the money immediately and got that taken care of. They have a 36 to 40 player shotgun they want to have in the month, I believe, in February, and we discussed the pricing, and she said, yes, let's go. So it's going to be something like every couple months, not every week, not every month, but every couple months, that I'll be more than happy to listen to what they have to say. And it's a way for us to show our golf course to people who probably never played it, to be honest with you. And that's always, to me, that's always a good thing. We did approximately $725 in rental club sales from October through the end of November. And before October 1st, I was giving rental clubs away because they were so bad. Now we've had a couple people, we've had some very kind people donate sets of clubs that we now have. So now we have like 4 men's right-handed sets, a ladies' left-handed set, a ladies' right-handed set, a men's left-handed set, and we have a junior set. So if someone wants to come play golf and they don't have clubs, we now are charging them. It's like $16 for 18 holes and $11 for 9 holes. So it's not like we're over. It's basically free revenue, so to speak. And rental clubs is a massive business, and I want to make sure that we continue to stay up and up with it. And I think that number could be pretty good toward the end of 2026. And so the one of the biggest things I did is when I first got here, we had no golf balls, point blank. And we did not have the number 2, the number 3, the number 4 selling ball in the world. We didn't have it in the shop. We now have it in the shop. So we have the number 1 selling ball is Titleist, number 2 selling ball is TaylorMade, number 3 selling ball is Callaway. TaylorMade and Callaway flip back and forth. Number 4 is Strixon, number 5 is Bridgestone. We have them all. And the golf ball sales, we sold 20 types of golf balls in the month of November compared to 4 last November. So if someone wants a golf ball, if they want a high-end ball, we have. If they want a low-end ball, we have the noodle at 15 balls for $20. So if you want to buy a golf ball, we have your price point. And I try very hard to make sure it's a very fair price point for everybody. And people know that I think people understand that in the shop the merchandise cost is pretty fair with everything. So I know I'm the only game in business and the only game in town. There's only 2 other places to buy golf balls from in the city of Kingman, and those aren't golf courses. So, but I also want to make sure that people understand that they walk out of the shop feeling that they were given a fair price. I find that incredibly important. And I think our merchandise sales have proven that over the past 3 months, is that people have no problem spending money in the shop knowing they're getting value for their dollar. And that's
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
The Golf Pro Shop is greatly improved since you
Thank you.
implemented all that.
So,
Thank you.
Thank you. So any questions?
Are you seeing the trend that I'm seeing in golf passes and trail fees from 2023 to 2025? Back to the rate? $9,000 lost in, golf passes, and the trail fees is basically halved.
Well, the passes are down 1,000, 12.2 to 11.2 from 2023 to 2025. Trail fees may have gone, no. So what I have up here is passes are 11,217 from 2025 for the month of November, and the same price, almost $1,000 less than 2023. I think passes are going to fluctuate, to be honest with you, but
I think it's somewhat of an indicator of what I brought up earlier, and I'm not defending my stance, I'm merely pointing it out, that these increases are taking a toll. And I gave you 3 examples of people that are no longer redoing their passes. You'll probably pick up some money in dailies, but you're looking at 2023, 29,726 in a golf pass, and in 2025, 20,800. In trail fees, you've gone from 43.71 in 2023 to 16.51. Those are significant drops.
Or is that a typo?
I'm using the data he gave, so could be.
so that's none of the data that's on the screen. Oops, my bad. Oh, I see. Hang on. Oh, I got you.
I'm just pointing it out.
I understand.
I'm not making an observation, you don't need to discuss it, I'm merely saying the council, our audience members need to see that we are indeed pricing some folks out of golf pass. That confirms what I reported earlier. A few things, we talked earlier about the starters. I've had some folks, younger, some middle-aged folks, requesting, how does that work? How do they apply? What's the training involved in that?
Well, right now, we've taken down all the volunteer until late February, because we're incredibly slow,
Okay.
and that's gonna be a volunteer thing.
See you in the clubhouse and
Yeah, and then,
express
well,
an interest?
and then we're going to open up the application process for volunteers at the end of February.
Like citywide email?
City,
something like
yeah,
that?
and then we're looking, see, I think a starter is massively huge. I am of the opinion it's a step above the marshal capabilities, because the person on the first tee can right away set the tone about pace of play, keep up with the group in front, all that fun sort of stuff. Then the marshal just adheres to what the starter's already said. So, like, I want a starter every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and possibly every Monday and Tuesday. Because Mondays and Tuesdays, we are slammed. We're really busy in the morning. And we're talking 7 a.m. to 10:30 or 11. It's a 4-hour shift, and you're done for the week.
And what'll the compensation on that be? Are you looking at a paid position? Are you looking at?
No, I'm looking at a volunteer position,
Training
4 hours a
for
week.
golf.
Training for golf, yes, sir.
And then you'll work hour for hour. What's the compensation package look like? They work an hour, they get an hour of free golf, so many hours, so many holes. How does that work?
Well, I haven't hired any volunteers, so I don't know what that, I have not,
Then let me plant that seed. So something you can be looking into of how you want to work that compensation.
I got you.
if it's gonna be
Yeah.
Punch passes, are they a thing anymore?
No.
I've been asked about them.
No.
They're gonna be 0 on punch passes. Cart glitches, you were working diligently on those.
the
at
cart
last
glitch
meeting.
has been rectified. The problem is, here's the problem, the cart glitch started when we started the GPS, that once they turned the GPS, because people were turning the GPS off to go wherever they wanted to get around geofencing. Okay? So we asked Club Cart to initiate a kill switch that once they turned off the GPS, their cart couldn't go. So that rectified them turning their golf cart off so they can geofence wherever they can go wherever they want without geofencing. But that added the glitch in the golf carts. So they've taken off the GPS kill switch, so the glitch is gone. Now they're working on a way, because since we are gas carts, it goes from running to 0. Electric carts, they can reduce the speed down to 1 mile an hour. Gas carts, they cannot do that. It has to be all or nothing. So now I've asked Club Card to try and figure out so we can put the kill switch back on so people do not turn the GPS off to get around all the geofencing and still allow our golf carts to run. The hardest part is right now, there's only one other golf course in the near vicinity that has gas carts. Everyone else has electric. But at the same time, that's to retrofit that cart barn wouldn't be easy to do and wouldn't be $100.
Please
So
put in the minutes that Dave Dale gave the side eye to Mike Mearsman regarding gas carts. We need electric carts.
but have you asked how much it would be to retrofit the cart barn? I guarantee that ain't cheap. Guarantee it.
You missed my earlier proposal. Unisource would have done it for free.
So anyway, what we have is what we have. I mean, so that glitch is fixed, but the
No
other,
more of the 8-10 second kill switch, turn the key off, turn it back on.
well, if you turn the key off, you're still gonna have that 3-4 minute wait for it to reboot. That's why we still have signs up that says, please don't turn the key off.
You've got
Yeah.
the message now that says,
Do
you're in,
not
you're.
So
you're in the-
that will always be there. That's never going away. And once you turn the key off, you have to turn the key on for the GPS to completely recycle, and then once the picture of the golf course comes on, you can go. That's why the little sign is still on every golf cart, please don't turn the key off. At some point in time, we're gonna get rid of that sign, because we have to.
And that'll be a training hill that we need to get over with.
Hey, it's been September, October, November, it's been 3 months. At some point in time, we gotta trust people to do the right thing.
While you're doing the review of what you want to do with the starters, can you include Rangers in that?
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's, because like you said, I am 100% with you. Starters set the tone, Rangers maintain it. And all of these enforcement things we're doing on golf rule books, day-to-day operations, that's going to be your enforcement team, and they need to be your right hand. Golf course rating and ordering of scorecards. What's the latest?
Scorecards are in the hand of the designer as we speak. The rating will be effective January 1, according to Arizona Golf Association. They have given me all the numbers, and I've posted them next to the men's club restroom and next to the women's club restroom, or women's restroom and men's restroom, what the new ratings are, what the new slope is.
Excellent.
And I sent him the final batch, the gentleman today, and the people who did the current scorecards, they're doing the new scorecards. So they have all of that information, some of the information like our course layout, they have that already taken care of. And then I asked him today the approximate turnaround time once the scorecard gets approved for the last time. What's their turnaround time? I'm just waiting back to hear his email, to hear what his answer is. But the goal is to have them in by January 1.
Excellent. That'd be great. That would be great. What else? What's the commission got? Todd?
One small item is the soap dispensers on the course are hit and miss. Either they're empty or they're clogged or something, and once in a while in the building itself, but on the course, it's been bad for the last few months. Nothing comes out.
It's the first I've heard of it. We'll take care of it.
Something to work on.
Commissioner Johnson? Good? No other questions?
Thank you.
Mike, your efforts are appreciated and noticed.
You gonna bring up with Cherish?
Oh, can we, I don't know who to address it to. We want to talk about the credit card surcharge. Is that with the city for the rest of our life?
Debit.
Or the debit, excuse me.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, it's a decision that was it cost the city a lot of money to be paying that all the time, so.
How is that enacted and gone over the Arizona state law that says no credit card, debit card can be charged a surcharge? How has that been passed over
I don't,
by the city?
that's above and we can't continue to talk about stuff that's not on the agenda, so I mean, it's,
Okay, we'll attend to that.
yeah, we have to agendize it, but it's something that our finance department's looked into. our legal department's looked into. It's pretty far over my pay grade to make the decisions from what they've.
Then we'll wrap this up and go to the member comments. Sherry, please put on the agenda then for the next meeting that we want to talk about the credit card surcharge charged to debit cards. That's the topic, right?
Yes.
And if Tina would be the person to address that, let's invite her. But there's been some consternation about, I understand if I swipe a credit card, it's this, but if I'm using a debit, it's the same as cash. Mr. Ottenshot, what have you got?
Good.
Commissioner Lawson? Thank you for your work today. Appreciate that.
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Nothing else.
Commissioner Johnson?
Well, I think we need to get something in January. If Mike can get us those numbers for the non-resident, I think we need to get something on the books in January, so that way we can have a special meeting on that. Especially if Mike's got the Aquarius coming in with 40 golfers. I think we'd be great to get the out-of-city rate kicked in by then, preferably.
So I think the message is sooner rather than later. And then if we need to do a special session, single topic only, let's do that. I think we can form a forum for that. Agree?
Yeah, is that something that we could do like under email or something, or is that something we have to meet on?
I don't think under.
No.
I agree with it.
No, we have to have it at a meeting.
Okay.
Anything else? Mike, Alex, Mike, anything? Make a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
I second. We're adjourned. Thank you all.
Thank
very
you
much.
all.